Hey everyone. Yeah, I'm 5 minutes early, but I'm excited to be with you today. As I was looking through what I planned for you today, I'm so thrilled. And so that's why I'm like jumping on early. I know the email just went out and you guys are all stepping in and getting ready and get your water. Here's what I would love for you to do because I'm just going to talk right now. Um, as you're joining, I really want to see you play full out today. I want to see you go all in because we're going through three things during this session of the training that is going to be so amazing. If you're excited in the chat, I want you to say I'm excited because we are going to talk today about some three amazing game-changing, life-changing things. So I'm super excited you're here. I'm on early. I woke up early. I'm so ready for you. I think I'm going to run out of water today because I have a lot to show you. And here's what I would love for you to tell me. A lot of you are playing full out. A lot of you are like in the group. You did your declarations. Yesterday, you were talking about what your mountains were, your big goals, right? And you're talking about what are those boulders that are going to make that possible. And some of you had explosions in your following. Some of you got new clients yesterday. Some of you had a relationship conversation that you never had and you've wanted to have for a very, very long time. This is how fast speed happens when you align what you desire and what you want with who you are being. And we're going to talk about that identity piece today. I cannot wait to jump in. I promise I wouldn't start early because I know people are just getting their water. But here's what I'd love for you to do. Get something to drink. Turn off your phone, put it in a do not disturb. I am going to do my very, very best to stay within our 30-minute window. And then, of course, VIP, I will be with you live after that. But we have some groundbreaking things to do today. So I'm going to start us off as I'm waiting for everybody to jump in the room with letting you know this thing. In the group, and if you're not in the Facebook group, make sure that you get in there. It's in the links, the join links for this challenge. If you're not in the challenge, DM me, I'll get you the link, okay? But here's the thing, if you missed anything, if you just joined and you're like, wait a minute, I haven't seen yesterday, or I was last, I'm catching up, right? The story of we're always behind. Is anybody in that story sometime where you feel like you can never get ahead? You're always a few steps behind, or maybe you just joined today and you're like, okay, I feel like I just joined and she's got a fire hose, right? I'm like, I've got things to show you today. I'm on fire. So here's what I want to let you know. In the group. In the group. Oh, that's funny. I'm in the Marcella is in VIP. She's watching on YouTube till VIP. You're in VIP. You're so funny. You're seeing me over there. That's really funny. But I'm here. See, I'm right here. So here's the thing. Up in the guide sections in the group. So if you're watching this live in the group, it's just up at the top, right? There's a section there that's called guides. That's where Kathy has put all the fast forward your future challenge days. Because here's what I want you to be able to do. If you've been here live every day, I bet there's something in there that you want to go back and listen to, right? I bet there is. And I learned this from Dean Graziosi. You know, it's like when I do it once, it's information. We were talking about information, revelation, transformation yesterday. But if I do it again, different things come out, right? Different things I see. But here's what I want to say. If you just joined us, or maybe you didn't get it yesterday, or you couldn't, or your work or the kids or whatever, I always create a space where you can watch and listen and learn and catch back up. So in the guides, we're going to keep those guides through the weekend. All right. So you have let's call it Netflix for your success, okay? It's inside the guides. And of course, you'll get a replay email with a link. But if you just look at the guides, there's day 1, there's day 2. After today, there'll be day 3. Tomorrow's training, which I can't wait to tell you about, will be there as well. And then there's a few more things I'm going to be doing over the weekend and on Monday and Tuesday, and I'll tell you about that as well. So let's dive in. It's the top of the hour. I jumped on early. You're not late. I just really wanted to have you here. I know once we send that email out, I know you kind of just want to jump on. I see everybody in VIP. Say hi in the chat. Say hi in the chat. I want to hear your take. What happened yesterday for everyone? You went in and you said, this is my mountain. This is what I want to create. And you started creating these boulders or these things that I call it dominoes, that once those go over, it makes getting to that top of that mountain so much easier. And I was in there all last night, seeing your live, seeing your posts. Incredible, right? Incredible. So I'd love to hear from you. I see eye-opening. Here's the question I want to ask you. Where before it seemed big and huge and you almost kind of wanted to take a step back to make it all happen, today I see a lot of you leaning in. Today I see a lot of you saying, you know what? It's not that complicated. You mean in 67 days I get this boulder, 67 days I get this boulder, 67 days I get this boulder. I'm at the top of the mountain, right? So it starts to help your brain not do the freak out, right? And that's what it's about. And so we're going to dive deep into that today. David is saying the boulders are like dominoes that makes your quest so much more easier in the long term. And the big benefit of the 60-70 year method is it doesn't put your brain in overwhelm. Because when your brain goes into overwhelm, that's when we shut down and we play small. That's when we stop going for it, right? All right, so Elizabeth says, it's become more real with my live. I showed it to my husband. He was very complimentary. Isn't that amazing when that happens? I'm so excited to start talking to my audience. Can we give her some love for that breakthrough, from fear to faith, from going from I'm scared to put myself out there to I put myself out there to my husband, and now I'm excited to actually go help people. Getting past that place where it's about us and it becomes about them is so powerful. It's the first time to watch me live. Awesome. From Ireland. That's 69%, 69.2% of my DNA. So it's good to see you. And like I said, all of the last 2 days are up in the guides in the group. And avoiding overwhelm is really important. All right, so let's get going. Let's get going. Like I said, I want you to put do not disturb on, get some paper, get a drink, buckle up, because this is what we're going to do today. And again, we don't want it to be information. That's an old broken way. Just consume information, right? We're going to have the information become revelation, where you start to take action, and you have been doing that, and that creates transformation. So yesterday we talked about what creates results. What creates results, right? And we talked about creating your own economy instead of relying on others and the fear and all the things that are constantly going to be going on. Because guess what? There's things going on today that weren't going on yesterday. There's going to be things going on tomorrow that aren't going on today. The world will keep moving forward and things will keep happening. But when we create our own economy, we lean into solving problems, helping people get to where they need to go. And it can be that simple. I hope as you move out of this challenge and into the 67-day year with us, you realize that it doesn't have to be complicated. Can I get an amen for that? Who's ready to be done with the idea that it's so confusing, it's so complicated, there's so many steps, like it's actually can be simple. It actually can be simple, right? So we talked about that. We talked about this is not that the old broken ways and the old industrial age economy with the old educational system that's still not catching up yet is not how you create movement and success and goal accomplishment in the speed economy, right? Old broken ways do not create new results. And some of you, we took a couple shoes off and wanted to kind of throw them at me because we revealed some of those areas where we were anchoring to lack. We were anchoring to lack. Like, I'm tired. I don't know how. I'm not sure who will listen. In the discouragement, in the letdown. Am I going to tie myself, marry myself to the story that leads to lack? Or are we going to unleash that for financial freedom? And we're going to talk about that today too. Yesterday, we talked about how that moves you to the person who decides fast. And one of the key markers of speed is fast decision making. In fact, I did a survey amongst 2 masterminds that I'm in because I find the habits of high performing people very intriguing. I'm a researcher at heart, right? So one of the questions I asked was, how long does it take you to make a decision? And across the board, averaged out a room of about 200 people making 7 figures or more, they said they make the decision within 30 seconds or less. 30 seconds or less. Do they let it go 24 hours? And that answer was rarely, almost never. Rarely, almost never. Now, I did a similar survey across the board, and for the average person, it takes 14 to 21 days to make a decision. And nearly 100% said they waited to the next day or further to make a decision. So when I see that disparity, I say, we got to make fast decisions. Well, what's stopping fast decisions? Fear. We're going to talk about that. What if I decide this, what if this was the right thing? But if I do this, what if this was the way I was supposed to go? So we choose fear over faith. And we're going to talk about that breakdown today. We talked yesterday about the difference between the principle of momentum, meaning a body in motion stays in motion, but a body in rest stays in rest. That's why your body, if it's not in motion, if you're not moving forward and you're trying to, it feels hard because you're dealing with the principle of momentum there. But the principle of acceleration is what we're teaching in the 67-day year, right? It's that acceleration that we're taking these micro steps and micro steps and micro steps. And that's getting, yes, the momentum. But once the momentum starts, it starts the principle of acceleration, meaning nothing can stop it unless there's force. And we don't want let fear be that force, right? The posts were amazing. Tell me in the chat if you were like mind blown when you were seeing the lives and the posts. And I hope you guys went in and listened to some. If you didn't, I can tell you last night I was in tears. I was in tears because this was what I was seeing get broken. Can you see that? That's what I was seeing getting broken last night. I was seeing people believe again. I was seeing people have faith again. I was seeing people move mountains already. So if you haven't had a chance, or you want like a feeling of people that are I call family of choice. My tribe is my family of choice. I love my family of origin. I love the family I have at home, but I have a family of choice that I do life with. And we are crazy, go-getter, driven, 1%ers trying to change the world and think we can, right? Those are the people that are in that room. And that's the room you got to be in, right? That's the room you got to be in. So go in and listen. And here's again, scarcity. I'm just going to do mine and leave. Abundance. I do mine. That's my give, not my fear. And I go in and I listen to others. Because here's the thing. We are the crazy ones. Here's the thing. There's alignments in that group that can catapult you. And I see this over and over and over again. I see people that come in the room and then end up being business partners. I have 2 clients, Alex and Carol, that came in with what used to be Epic Success and now the 67-day year. Now they're doing a podcast together. They're selling programs together. Why? Because there was an alignment. And I know that's there for you when we open our heart and we let ourselves be seen. Right? So yesterday you learned the beginning part of the 67-day year method. You defined your mountains and your boulders. And I listened to one yesterday and I was like, I brought my family, my kids over. I'm like, you got to listen to this. This is amazing. And they listened to it. And my daughter said, that is so inspirational. And my daughter's 11. That's where I want my kids around. That kind of possibility. So $50 coming your way because I want to show you how easy, how money comes to you easily, that you didn't work for it, that you didn't do anything for it, except for just telling people what it is you're going to go do in the world. And so Patricia Hale, you just won 50. I wish I had cash on me, like throw some money around, but congratulations, Patricia. Awesome video. Thank you for inspiring my daughter. Thank you for doing it scared, right? Doing it scared. And a lot of you are like, oh my gosh, I went live for the very first time. I've done this for the very first time. I've told people what I do. It's kind of funny how we do that. We're like, I want to change the world, but I'm not telling anybody what I do. And then we just go out and declare it. And all of a sudden we get clients. Three new clients in this room this week. Somebody's group grew by 37 new people. Somebody got 100 new people on their email list. I saw last night somebody's one of their videos blew up yesterday, over 300,000 views. Why? They're declaring. This is the kind of powerful accelerant that happens when you're in a room like this. And then yesterday, so congratulations, Patricia. Oh, Marcella made her for sale overnight. Woo! That's so exciting. We talked about the SPEED acronym. We're going to bring that forward to today. SPEED, success, passion, excitement, excellence, decisions. That creates speed. And we're going to bring that through. I'm so excited for you. See, this is the room you want to be in, right? Now, we also talked about some traps to avoid. We're going to go deeper in those today. The confusion trap. I don't know. And one of the through lines I saw in a lot of the videos was this through line of confidence. Like, how do I mean, this has given me like a dose of confidence. Now I really want to have more. We're going to talk about that today. And we want to avoid the trap of being alone, right? Doing it alone. I think now only the beginning of day 3, you see the power of ditching the lone wolf syndrome, right? It makes it feel more comfortable, but it also doesn't help you play big, right? So today we are doing 3 things. We're going to map out your 67-day year. There's a couple more steps of the 67-day year method. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how much time it takes to do them. A lot of questions around how much time and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to do that. There's a few more steps you need to do. So we're going to break that down. We're also going to learn the method to train your brain to overcome any obstacle. Any obstacle. Anything that gets in your way, any blind spot, any block, any obstacle that you did not desire or want. And that's going to be broken down today, the brain science of how to do it. And it's so simple. Like, I'd like to say our methods are really complicated and like, yes, these are the only places you can get these methods, but they're so easy. They're simple. I mean, you have to do them for them to work. That's why a lot of people are like, do you guarantee it'll work? I'm like, 100% if you do it. If you go all in and you do the work, I guarantee it will work because I have 100% success rate with my clients. And some of my clients are here and going like this on the VIP. They're like, but I cannot offer that to you if you don't go all in. So it's around that conversation of going all in, right? So the third thing today we're going to talk about is really the piece that I heard the through line, which is creating financial freedom. Creating financial freedom. If financial freedom right now is the thing that you're like, yes, I need that. I want you to write freedom in the chat. I want you to write freedom. Like, I need to understand why I'm not free. I want to get free. I want to have financial freedom, and I want to pass down financial freedom and the mentality to do it. So freedom is in your high top 2, 3 desires right now, financial freedom, and the identity that goes along with it, which is confidence and consistency and completion and all those things, generations of freedom. And I love that. I love that. So those are what we're going to do today. You can tell I am so excited today. I got to like bring it down a notch. I did not have coffee. I just had you guys. And this is what happens. So I want to start out with the idea of identity and where it comes from. And I want to start with a story, embarrassing story, but a story nonetheless. I think the more you hear where identity comes from and how it gets created, the more you can create the identity that aligns with financial freedom, right? So this was back when I was starting college. I lived in Arizona at the time, And I was just starting at Arizona State University, which, if you know anything about Arizona State University, typically speaking, they're like great at football, although that's gone down for a while. They're known to have some of the best athletics across, all colleges. Pretty incredible school, especially back then. No, I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was, but especially back then. And they had, I danced since do I have any dancers in here? People have danced like at some point in their life. And like, even when nobody's watching, you're probably like dancing around in your kitchen and doing that kind of thing. Okay. I know not everybody, but so dancing's part of my joy. It's been that way since I was 2. It's still that way. In fact, the other day, my daughter and I were in a Mexican restaurant, and I was in the hallway showing her how to do salsa. I mean, she's like 11 and she is going, "Mom, stop." Like, it was just horrible. But back then, Arizona State's team, their cheerleading team, nobody could beat them. They were amazing. And I love cheerleading. It's dancing on a field and a stage. I like stages. It's fun. This has always been me. So I thought to myself, I want to get on that ASU team. So who was I? I'm a dancer. I have skills. I like stages. I'm like, you know what? The Cardinals are having tryouts. That will get me ready for making ASU. If I can get in there with these women who are like at the pro level. So what kind of identity did I have? Where did that come from? Was I just bloviating? Was I bringing up confidence? No, because of the reps I had under me, because at 2, my toes hurt from the little point shoes, and all the way up, I had repped so many times, meaning repetition, that showing up in the room to have the identity to try out for that wasn't about me. It was about the craft. It wasn't about my ego. My identity said this was possible. So I went into the room, and it was intimidating. So you can have the identity of someone that can do it and still be in a room with people that are better than you and hold your space. Why? Because it was my 2-year-old toes, not theirs. It was my millions of tryouts of what's the Christmas play that we did 75,000 times over. I could probably recite it still, right? So when I showed up in there, I didn't look to the left or to the right, although they were beautiful people that had amazing skill. All I did was stay in the identity of my reps, what I knew. And ironically, because I wasn't worried about the left and the right, and I was just focusing on my craft, that identity showed up. And I couldn't try out for ASU because I made the NFL team. And I was like, what? Like, I was not expecting that outcome. But that's exactly what's going to happen for you when your identity is in alignment with your dreams. You'll go faster than you even thought you could. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't there to hit that NFL pro level. I was there to perfect my craft. I was showing up to serve. The identity allowed me to not worry about the left and the right and bring forward just the craft that I had. Now, I have another friend of mine, same age, same time, that was a singer. And she was in a bathroom with me, sorry guys, but gals, there's lots of stuff that goes on when you're like, teens to 20s in bathrooms. So we were in the bathroom and she was singing, and somebody told her she should try out for the upcoming, not America's Got Talent. What was it back then? American Idol. Well, sitting in that bathroom, she's like, I'm not good enough. I don't know. I am not a singer. I am not a singer. So the person gave her a date and time. She was really struggling with showing up for it. So she didn't go. And the van that comes in and out of towns for that show, I guess. went and left. And then she gets a call from the person in the bathroom who had given the number. She said, I didn't see you show up. And she's like, I know, I don't think I'm ready. And the person introduced themselves as the scout top talent for American Idol. In other words, the person that said who went and who didn't go was the one telling her, you've got a spot. But she didn't have the identity, and she said, I am not. So I want to ask you where your I am nots are slowing you down. I'm not, or I'm just a mom, just a grandma, I'm just a 50-year-old. Maybe it's too late. I'm just an artist. I don't know how this business stuff works. But here's what I do know about you. I've only known some of you for a few days, but here's what I know about you. And tell me if this is you in the chat. Say it's me. You're driven. You have a desire to help other people. You're passionate. You really dream for yourself and for your family and for others. If that's you, say me in the chat. Say that's me, right? That's me. If that's you in the chat, I want to hear it, because here's what I know. You want to change for yourself, and you want to make a difference in the world. You want to leave a legacy, right? This is what I know about you from few short days. And I also know that some other people kind of tell you to relax a little bit. Slow down. You're doing too much, right? Because you got this thing, this unquenchable calling, right? You have a legacy that you're supposed to leave. That's why you're on this challenge. That's why you're not just moving on and saying, I'm just, right? You want to make income and create financial freedom, not because you want to hoard it. I probably would have bothered you a lot by now if that was you. But you want to make it so you can make a difference. You want to make it so you can make money matter. You want to make it so that financial freedom can come this way. If this is me, say, that's me. That's me. That's me. I want to see all the that's me's in the chat. If that is you, I want to hear it. Look at all of you. So I have a question I want you to ask or answer. Lots of, yep, that's me. What do you want your identity to be? What do you want your I am to be? I am a 6-figure entrepreneur changing the world through my work. I help 100,000 coaches certified, and the only transformational model that creates 100% transformation so they can go out and have the best businesses ever. What's yours? I'm a great wife. That's a decision daily, sometimes hourly, sometimes minute by minute, because identity is an I am. What's your I am? What do you want to be? Because here's the thing. You're either in an identity by design or by default. And I don't know about you, but I do not want my life, my legacy, what I leave for my children to be predicated on default versus design. What do you want your identity to be? All right, in the VIP room, I'm seeing I'm a force to be reckoned with, a successful entrepreneur, wife, and mother. Amazing. What else? My question to you is, we're in a declaration moment. You can stay in the old broken I'm not or I'm just, or you can come over here and say, you know what? Today is the day I am. I am a great mom. I am a mom that can stay and hang out and make my daughter happy. Even look at that in VIP room. You're not seeing it, but she's like going from crying. I see you. That's right, girlfriend. So listen, what is it? What do you declare today is your identity? Because here's what I need you to know. And it makes me really get emotional. If you don't declare your identity, you will be living someone else's. If you don't declare your identity, you'll be living someone else's. Elodie says, I'm a 7-figure coach that helps 500 feminine leaders who are now they're flying in, who are transforming their life and having a positive impact. That's amazing. I'm a soaring eagle. I love that. I'm a Titus 2 woman generating abundant income for my family and charities. Mary Lou says, I'm a millionaire. I am a TED Talk speaker. I'm a published author. I'm a neuroscientist. Yes. I serve millions with people across the world. Anne says, I'm a mom helping moms strategize to make money while being at home with their littles on their schedule. I'm seeing some that I can't see your name, but I'm bright, helping others be lights to shine. I'm a great mom on a mission to help anyone. I'm a successful entrepreneur who blesses others. I am an impact-making kingdom mom, earning well and serving well. I'm a Elizabeth says, I'm a profitable entrepreneur that helps women create a self-care program that is unique as they are. I'm generous. I'm an encourager. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. Goosebumps. Thank you for taking the words out of my mouth. Goosebumps. The power of the identity by choice. Today's, I don't want to go left, but there's a lot of identity conversations going on in the world right now. This is what I tell my son who's 14. It's not what you are, it's who you are. I am. So why? Okay, first of all, if hearing the identities of everybody else was inspiring to you to step into that identity, say me in the chat. If seeing others declare that version of them that is on the inside already, right? You know this is who you are already. I know you do because you wrote it. Again, intuition. I did not tell you anything to write. That was coming from where? Outside or in? Came from inside. Yeah. Came from inside. So look at all that. This is what I want to ask you. And it's about to get deep, but I love you and you guys can go deep with me. Why doesn't the external match that? And it's one word. Well, two. I'll say it. It's fear. But here's again what it really dials down to. It's lies. It's lies. The lie of fear says if I go all in and it doesn't work, I'll fail. And then what? And fear keeps you in this cycle. And here's the thing. Fear is a tactic that your brain, you're going to want to write this down. Fear is a tactic that your brain uses to keep you right where you are. It keeps you safe. It keeps things familiar. That means exactly like you are right now with nothing you just declared, right? Your brain is keeping you safe. That's why you don't go all in. That's why you play smaller than you know you want to. And it's hard because it takes one to know one, right? Like I know this because I lived this. Right? It's choosing this battle is between faith and fear. Fear says you'll never see it because it isn't safe. It's the lies and it's the enemy of your soul and of your dreams. Faith says, I don't see it yet, but I know it's coming. I don't see it yet, and I don't know how yet, but I know it's coming. Fear steals, keeps you still, keeps you actually going backwards, because when you don't take the actions and you don't move forward and you don't go all in and you keep playing small, do you feel better or worse about yourself when you do those things? Tell me in the chat. Better or worse? Worse, right? So when we feel worse, do we do better things or more? Do we go backwards? We don't take a step forward, we take steps backwards, right? So it's all about training your brain to allow success, to allow yourself to go from fear to faith. In no way am I saying you can eliminate the fears. I am saying you can shut their mouth. I am saying you can say, not on my watch. I'm saying that you can teach your brain that those are not welcome in your identity. And it's kind of like when you get into a car with some of you are young moms, you're not at that teenage teaching your kid to drive thing. That's fun. Because like all the things you do from 0 to like 14 is keeping them alive and like not hurt. and like stepping into their destiny, right? And then something switches when you're not the coolest anymore and they want freedom and they want to be able to drive it all at the same time. So like you're an idiot and teach me to drive, which is kind of fun. So here's the thing. My son, he's getting ready to go and learn, and his cousin was talking to him about when she got into the car and started to learn. And somebody's telling you what to do when you're driving. You can't learn to drive from a book. Information is not revelation, and it's not transformation. You only get the transformation of I'm a driver identity when you start and put your foot on the gas and take that ever so scary to a parent moment where there is a 7,000-pound vehicle moving with now you and your child, and they are in the driver's seat. That's okay though. This is because we're choosing faith over fear. But here's what she said. She said, I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. I was driving, but then all of a sudden I just naturally, my foot went on the brake and the car just started going left and right and left and right and left and right, started spinning, right? Yet that's what we're doing with our big goals. We've got our foot on the gas. You're taking the steps. You're writing the to-do list. You're busy. Sometimes perfectionism gets to you. So you're busy doing things that don't move the needle, but you're still busy because it feels good. Right? So here's what I know. I'm in a room of people that are pressing the gas. You're maybe not all in, like not floor into the floor yet. And we're going to get you there, but your foot's on the pedal. I know that. I know that about you. Right? But just like Bailey, when she was in the car and the foot goes on the brake, these stories of fear, these stories of confidence, these stories that aren't yours. This identity that you didn't choose. It's by default, not by design. We've got to take our foot off the brake. If you take the foot off the brake, success is inevitable. But if we keep the foot on the brake and continue to do the things we've always done and keep those old stories running our 90% of our daily actions and decisions, because that's coming from your subconscious, it's like putting your foot on the gas and your foot on the brake at the exact same time, and then wondering what's wrong with you because it's not going fast enough. Take the foot off the brake, success becomes inevitable. Or a better way to say it, a more simple way to say it, change the stories, change the outcome. Change the stories. Life by design, not by default. Decide what's going to be in your driver's seat. Fear is going to drive, or faith is going to drive. Faith is just another word for belief, right? We're going to dive into that in a minute. Like, what creates belief? How do I make this go fast, Shannon? Like, can we get this lie out of my car and off my brake pedal? Yes, we can. We're going to talk about that. But I want to ask you a question. I want to know from you. I want to call you to a decision. Are you ready to go all in? Is it your time? Is enough enough? If these old broken stories of fear and lack of confidence, do you want to keep them? Or are you ready to go all in on you? Are you ready to go all in on fast forwarding your future? And if that is you, and I see Joy saying, bleep yes, heck yes, then I want you to say, I'm all in the chat. I'm all in. I want you to write, I'm all in. It's a public declaration that you drew a line in the sand, and now you can't unknow what you've learned over the last couple days, right? You can't unlearn that you have the tool to train your brain to allow the success, to take the foot off the brake. You have the tool, and you will get more of the tool here in a moment, to actually create a year's worth of goals in 67 days. You have the tools. So I want to know from you if you're all in. And so many of you are all in. You're like, yes, 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 yes. That's why you're here, right? That's exactly why I did something that I want to tell you about, because I knew you would be all in, but I also know you're in a speed economy, and it's different than it was even 2 years ago. So I put together something that I know I needed and I got the opportunity to have. I started reflecting on the speed economy and why it's going so fast and why some people are doing well in it and some people aren't. And the key thing that I saw that I have and the people that were going fast have is they had a path, they had massive accountability, and they had somebody that knew what they were doing walking alongside them. They had let go of the lone wolf syndrome and they walked beside somebody that knew the steps they needed to take. And so I started thinking about this and I was running it off some of my clients. I'm like, gosh, I don't want to offer people courses anymore. Not right now. I don't, right now, people need speed. They need to ditch these old stories and create a life by design, not by default. They need to be able to build a 67-day year and never doubt that they know what step to take next. Because that's where I see people get tripped up. They'll go great for 2 to 3 weeks, even in a strategy-based program. And about 3 weeks in, there's nobody around and they're like, I don't know what to do. And then there's not that partner beside them saying, here's your 3 steps, take them today. Tomorrow, these are all your 3 steps, take those. And I think there's this, I'm going to call it holy. I hope that doesn't offend anybody, but almost like a holy indignation, like not on my watch. Like I want to see you have better success than I have. I've got multi 7-figure businesses. My one business went from 6 to 7 figures in 67 days. That's how I know this model works. And I've given you examples after examples after examples with Barbara and others that have actually shared their story. So here's what I decided to do. Like, what they need. Well, you don't need massive 17 weeks worth of information. Can I get an amen for that? Can I get an amen? Do you have I don't want 17 weeks of watching videos and filling out worksheets to hopefully get it. And I'm not sure. So I crafted something that honestly is not being done in the marketplace right now because of what I know you need. Because my heart is for you, because I believe in you. So if I have your permission, I would like to share with you what I've put together for you that I believe is going to be the one tool that will change everything. So if I have your permission, I am going to tell you about it because here's what I know you needed. I need to get all the information to you on creating a 67-day year down to the micro step. And I need to help you know exactly your blind spots and how to remove them. Those 2 things get accomplished, your success is inevitable. But I need to be able to walk alongside you, arm in arm, day by day for 67 days. Not a year, not 6 months, not 67 days. Where you have my attention with office hours. You have our master certified neuro coaches in doing hot seat calls. So you get coaching when you get stuck in the moment, right? And you have a map that you're walking every single day that is so crystal clear that you never get into the conversation of, I don't know, because I don't know is the graveyard of most people's dreams. So we created something called, I know this will be surprising, the 67-day year program. And what I'm going to do is give you what works in the new economy and show you how to show your brain that success is safe. And to ditch that lone wolf syndrome, right? Once and for all, to finally know what it feels like to have a community around you that cheers you on. And I created it because I believe in you. And sometimes you need to borrow my belief and walk beside me for 67 days in order to see it come to pass, right? I believe in you. And the only thing standing in your way is seeing all that you have behind your own eyes in real life is by having this tool. To me, this is the only done with you accomplishment program or system. And it's 67 days. So the promise of this whole program is 67 days, one goal, one boulder, 67 days, done. That's the promise. And in that process, we'll teach your brain how to allow success. Side by side, with accountability, with the exact steps, with office hours with me, with coaching with our coaches, not information. This is not what this is about. This is about transformation. All the information that you're going to need to map your whole year out, to know exactly what to do, we're going to deliver it in an intensive environment. In other words, we're going to do it within 1 week's period of time. 1 week. You're going to get everything you need. And then you're going to have the map and you start walking. You're going to have, we're going to gamify. Remember how I shared with you, like the #1 weight loss app was because people were making money losing weight? Well, I'm going to help you make some money accomplishing your dreams, because I know that we want to do these things to walk beside each other, to get excited. So here's the thing. This is the tool that's going to make all the courses and strategies and tactics and desires and business dreams actually work. We're going to be side by side. This is going to be the most powerful tool you ever have in your tool belt. 67 days together. And I'm offering it right now to you guys for the first time, because this is the first time I'm doing it. I've offered it to my clients. They're all in. I think we've got almost all our clients that are joining in. We are going to take that one goal and see it get done. Think about the power that comes from finally accomplishing that, and then accomplishing the next one, and then accomplishing the next one. Why? Because now you'll have the tool and the system to do it. We'll do new rounds every 90 days. So we'll be able to do that. You can keep going. If you have bigger dreams, you can jump into the next round, right? But here's the thing. When I sold my Epic Success program, that was a $3,000 program. We taught you a little bit about what I'm going to teach you today. Clarify, erase, automate, how to train your mind to succeed, the productivity hacks from the brain, all of that. $3,000 coaching program. That's going to be included for these 67 days. So if you are an information person and you want to go soak in more, it's there for you. And I threw in a lot of other bonuses that I'm not even going to tell you about right now. You can go look at it at 67dayyear.com. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to limit the seats, because I want to be able in this first round to really walk beside you personally and really see you come to pass this one goal in 67 days. So it's time for you to go all in, to stop saying yes to being that smaller version of you and start to let the outside match that inside that you are. And you got to be, guys, if you're on VIP, this cute sweetie pie, this cute, like, what is she, like 6 months maybe? 5? Yeah. So like, oh, she's 10 months. Okay. 9 months. So she's right in the screen. She's ready to go all in. And here's the thing. This is done with you. Most coaching programs, they have some coaching hours. You show up and good luck. Hope you can do it. Or the courses, they go, here's the course that's going to help train everything and your productivity and your this and that. And you take it and you're like, okay, but I still don't know how to do it. Right? So here's the thing. I wanted to open it up today because a lot of you were like asking, is this going to open? I want to join. I've heard people talking about 67-day year. Can I join? Can I join? Can I join? Yes, but there's limited seats and loads of bonuses. So go to go to 67dayyear.com. You can read all the details, but here's the thing. Just this round, I am doing it for not 3,000, not 5,000, which is what we're going to be heading toward in this 67-day year program. We're doing it for $997 with some payment plans too. And you get to lock that rate in. In other words, if you want to do another round a year from now, you can have that rate. If you want it 2 years from now, you can lock in that rate. Why? Because this group, I believe, is going to change the world. So I wanted to remove the resistance for you this time around. Next time around, we offer it, it's doubling. The time after that, it's doubling. This is going to eventually be a $5,000 program. But today you can jump in with a payment plan. I believe it's in the 300s. So you just go to 67dayyear.com and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have, but just know that they're limited seats. We'll talk more about it over the day. But here's what I want to do next. I'd like to shift into helping you break down the rest of that 67-day roadmap. If you're ready for that, say, I'm ready. I'm going to take a quick drink here. There's a few more steps that you need to add to your mountain and to your boulders. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at the boulders that you wrote down. Now, if this is the first day and you didn't watch yesterday, go back and watch yesterday so this will make sense to you. But I want you to pick a boulder, one thing that you know that if you accomplish it, it's going to make it a lot easier to actually scale that mountain of that big vision and big dream. And I want you to declare that one. Like, look at all of them and pick the one that if it gets done, it makes the rest of them a lot easier. That's the litmus test that I use. It's like, okay, well, if I want to start a podcast and I need to get my website up, well, okay, which one of those two, if I did it first, will get me more people so that the website will actually have somebody coming and looking at it? Now, there's no right or wrong answer. This is the greatest news about the 67-day year is you can actually choose the wrong domino, the wrong boulder, and still create massive progress because it's the action of movement in that goal that starts to create that acceleration, that principle acceleration. So if you have the one boulder, I want you to put it in the chat because I want to talk to you based on what you're doing, not just theory. So I'll wait if you have a boulder. For me right now, Marcella is looking to grow a successful YouTube Rumble channel. Anita's LBTV. Elizabeth is writing her self-care workbook. That's the big boulder, right? Reaching out to clients. That's the big boulder. Priscilla says, decide my membership platform. Now here's, Priscilla, I'm going to challenge you. I'm assuming you have to do some research. So researching membership platforms so you can choose one, go for that. But if you already have done the research, I'm going to challenge you to pick it and be done. Be that fast decider, right? All right. So let's see. I need ready to make money and get clients beforehand. People, okay, and finish the program I bought regarding coaching. I love it. Organizing my painting room for energy. I love that, right? So 5 to 10 paying clients for new product development. That is awesome. Created course overviewing what I have learned. So see how we have one boulder. We have the big mountain, which could make us step back, but as we broke it down into smaller chunks, now you have one chunk, one boulder, one goal that we can topple in 67 days. But here's the thing. I don't want you to just I call it the spaghetti tactic. They're like, I'm going to go start a podcast. And then they start doing 100 other things about the podcast that doesn't actually get the podcast up and going. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take that boulder and define the rocks. What are the micro steps you'll need to take? About 10 of them. And when we're in the 67-day year, we're going to take those 10 and we're going to get it down so detailed that you'll know exactly what 3 things to do, 30 minutes or less every single day. But I want you to take right now, in this time we have together, and think about your boulder and what are 2, 3, 4, 5, no more than 10 little rocks that you know you'd have to do. Maybe it's research, maybe it's getting the platform, maybe it's whatever it is. I want you to take a couple minutes and write down what are some of the rocks that it would take to accomplish that goal. And I want to ask you this question as you're thinking about that. Do you start to see how fast this can go? If I know the one thing I'm focusing on and I'm not allowing any of the other focuses to distract me, right? Because I've already determined this is the domino boulder. This is the boulder that makes all the others topple. And if I go all in on this one and start to define, okay, here's these micro steps. Now we're getting to the micro. The brain loves micro. It doesn't see any of the steps you're defining right now as overwhelming. Unless you define, unless your step, and this is part of what we'll walk through in the 67-day year intensive part, is we don't want to make those rocks need to be doable, not like, change the world. That's not a rock, that's a mountain, right? So we got to make sure it's not a mountain, that we're putting it as a simple rock. Like if I'm going to start a podcast, One of the rocks is I need to get the software for the podcast. Another rock would be I need to get the microphone and all the details, the tech side of things handled. So what are 2 to 3 up to 10, no more than 10 rocks? And can you start to see like, oh my gosh, like this one boulder can get toppled so quickly as you start to define these little micro rocks, and you start to actually show your brain that it's simple to do. And that's why in the last 2 days, by just doing a basic declaration, not even specifics like we did here, and just by defining the mountain, right? And some of the boulders, we've got people getting new clients, new group members, new emails, actually new followers. Why did that happen? Is because they and you started to show your brain that it was possible, and you got clarity to know where to go. Got clarity to know where to go. So to create your 67-day year map, it needs 2 things. It needs your boulders, it needs your rocks, and it needs the identity that your success is inevitable. And I want to talk about this for a second as you're writing down your rocks, because here's the thing. When you start to write things down and you get to one that you haven't done before, your brain will tell you this sentence, I don't know. And through the videos yesterday, I saw confidence. I want confidence. Confidence comes from competence. I was watching Kobe, the great Kobe, and he was talking about why he had so much confidence on the court. And this defines exactly what we've talked about over the last few days so well. He's started about, you know what? I don't think about confidence on the court. I don't think about anybody that I'm going to be playing against. I don't think about the outcome of the event, the game itself. Here's what I know. I've put in the reps. I'm on that court practicing. I'm showing up and I'm taking the steps every day. I'm doing the training. I'm eating the way. I'm putting in the reps. He said, it has nothing to do with getting confident, and it has everything to do with putting in the reps. Confidence is a learned skill, and learned skills come from competence, from putting in the reps. The 67-day year method actually shows you what reps to take. What reps do I take to help the rocks get accomplished? So the rocks get accomplished, that pushes the boulder over, the next boulder over, the next boulder over. And then before you know it, your identity is that of getting chosen for the NFL team way further than you thought you would be, right? Why? Because your identity's gotten in alignment with what you're doing. And consistency, that reps of consistency, that's what creates the speed. So we want confidence. So we wait and we stay in fear, but that's not you because you said you're all in. So we now know that confidence comes from competence, and consistency is what creates the speed. It's that stacking effect. So here's the way I love sharing it. Do I have anybody that's ever invested, like has a 401k, has some kind of vehicle that their money is growing over time, sitting in a bank account, earning 0.001, but that it's in there, right? Well, there's this concept called compound interest. And the same compound interest works with your success. At the very beginning, you're putting $100 in, you're putting another $100 in a month, let's say, and you see like $2. And you're like, no, that's not that great. Why? Because it's just in the beginning and it hasn't started compounding. And about 21 days is when your brain does the hockey stick that we are familiar with in compound interest. Is it takes this old story that's been by default and the new story that's made by design, and all these reps that you're taking towards your goal, and the hockey stick takes over, and you actually build a network in your brain. We call that flipping on the success switch, where you actually build a pathway in your mind toward confidence, competence, completion, and success. And that consistency is what allows success and speed toward it, right? It allows your potential and your power and your passion to rise to the top. And here's the thing. It allows you to get access to all of you. Like to truly get access to all that you are called to be. And honestly, like that selfishly is one of my biggest goals for you. Yes, I want to see you get financial freedom, and we're about to talk about that. Yes, I want to see the big mountains that you have come to pass. Of course, I want to see you win, and I believe in you. More than all that, I want to see you get access to all of you. Get access to that part of yourself that you've put on hold because you're a mama. Get access to that part of yourself that when you stop aligning with I'm too old, I'm too tired, I'm too this, I'm too that, or I'm just this, and you start aligning with who you really are, and you start creating things that actually help other people, and you start making impact and influence and income, you get access to all you were made to be. I believe by God, you're made to be great. You were made to be great, and you were made to be great so that you can help other people. And that's why the 67-day year program is so important for you right now. Because speed and time is the thing you can't get back. I've tried. I've tried. Like, why do we want financial freedom? We want financial freedom because we want the time to do the things we want to do. I have 4 years left with my son. He's 14. 4 summers left. I've got 7 left with my daughter. Opting to speed up time and to go fast toward the things that you want so that you can have the financial freedom that creates a life by design is exactly why I created the 67-day year program, to do that with you. So make sure you go to 67dayyear.com to get in, because I don't want to see you learning and staying and settling with half of who you were made to be. It's time to take the foot off the brake, right? And create that identity that allows success. Take that one goal and create massive acceleration. And I want to know in the chat, if we're sitting here 67 days from now and that huge boulder is done, tell me in the chat, what becomes possible? What becomes possible when that 167-day cycle is done and that one boulder has crushed it and you're now on to the next? What now becomes possible? Take a moment and think about that. Yeah, financial freedom becomes possible. You create momentum and enables you to accelerate, right? And you can start to see the acceleration. Joy. I see it. Everything. I'd love to know what that everything is. What becomes possible, right? A belief that I can replicate. So good. Oh my gosh, so good. Do it again. Do it again. More high-end clients, more high-end clients. Yeah, exactly. So much joy. And here's, somebody just wrote this. It's so powerful. I will finally know I can do it. Think about that. What a position of power and grace you can come from when you know, without a doubt, by design, I can do this. I love this one. I can reach 50 countries when I do the first boulder. How about that for making some serious change? So powerful. So powerful, right? So if we know that we can do that in just 67 days, this is where I get really excited. You know that compound interest I was talking about in your brain? I want you to think about the compound interest when you've toppled 4 or 5 of those boulders in a year's time, not just one of those boulders in a year's time. Think about the acceleration in your life. Think about the potential and what's next in your life. So the key to total confidence in what is next is having those tools and not getting stuck in the I don't know, right? To be able to know the steps, right? That's why I created 67-day year. because you got to go fast. You got to go fast. Marcel's like, it's almost scary to think about what's next. Like, that's the exciting thing. Like, you get to get there and celebrate. And here's the thing, the people around you get to come with you. I know that, but I want you to think about that. That's just got dropped into my heart for a second for somebody. Like, it's not just about you. It's not just about you. I know for me, figuring this out and having this actually work and showing other people how to do this ended a generational, I believe, a curse, a generational sin, a generational thing that had gone on in my life, my family generations since the beginning of time, which was massive levels of anxiety. My mom couldn't leave the house. The best person in the world that I know. She's no longer with us, but she couldn't leave the house because of crippling anxiety. That's that doesn't get to pass down past me. Why? Because I learned how to train my brain to create a life by design, not by default. Because it's not just for me. It's for my kids. It's for their kids' kids and their kids' kids. It's for the people that I get to impact that I won't know this side of heaven. But if I can be that person that can throw one little rock in the pond. You know, we work in Uganda. I have a charity that we founded 17 years ago, helping kids who have lost mom and dad to AIDS. And I was sitting with a bishop in that area once, and he said, you know, Shannon, you may think that your support is just a drop in the ocean. And you may think one goal, that's just a drop in the ocean, right? But he said, you must remember. He's got a great East African accent that I cannot even do, so I'm not going to try, but it's very deep voice, should be a radio host. He said, you got to remember, the ocean is made of drops. I just want that to sit with you for a second. When you're thinking about, do I want to go fast? Is it time for me? Am I going to go all in? I'm going to say, you don't have time to not go all in. You don't have time to not go all in because you can't get yesterday back. And if you keep doing it the way you used to do, this is not that. 2022 is not 2020, and it's not 2018. The economy has shifted, and I want you to go fast and not ever be stuck again. So go to 67dayyear.com. I don't know, we might be filled up by the end of today. If not, we'll still tell you tomorrow, but I want to see you in there. So let's dive into training your brain to allow financial freedom. And I'm going to tell you a couple different stories. I'm going to ask a question first, and then I'm going to tell you a couple stories. Allowing your brain, for your brain to allow financial freedom, there has to be a different relationship with money. So I'm going to ask you to answer this question. I'm going to ask one question. I'm going to leave an open blank, and I want you to answer this just first thing that pops in your mind. Don't overthink it, just write it. Ready? Money is what? Money is what? Just in the chat. Money is what? First thing that came to mind. Not the second and the third, not the edited version. Scarce. Power. Money's cool. Money is freedom. Oh, money's evil. Money's a tool. Creates freedom. So I'm seeing a lot of creates freedom, but not is freedom. See that? Hard to come by. Money is what decides to say true, Valerie. And we're going to talk about that too. So money, unless you have purposefully gone in and recreated the money story, you actually have the money story of your environment of origin. So I want to ask you this. What is scarcity? Say that in the chat. Answer that. What is scarcity? Yeah, lack, fear, not enough, lack of resources. When you think of financial freedom, so lots of fear, never enough, lack, fear. So what is abundance? That's my next question to you. I want you to write. So thinking that there's never enough. Abundance is relief. What else? What is abundance? So I'm going to tell you the story as you're writing that about, some of you heard my monkey story before, but there's this research that was done in Africa, and there was they were working with this monkey, and the monkey there's this cup, right? And in the cup there was a banana, chopped up banana, not in the leaves, but a chopped up banana. So the monkey was trying to get the banana, but when the monkey went in to get the banana and has the banana in his hand, it can't pull its hand out of the cup. Okay, so it's squawking, it's squeaking, and it's like, I don't know if you've heard monkeys or watched Nat Geo, but like this monkey is freaking out because he's got banana in his hand and he's trying to like pull his hand out of the cup, but he can't get it out of the cup, and he's freaking out, and he's like starting to bang the cup on his head, and he's like running all around like crazy. And honestly, all he had to do was let go of the banana and his hand would come right out. But because he was gripped so tightly on the thing that he wanted, he couldn't get it. I want that to land. Because he was gripped so tightly to the thing he wanted, he couldn't actually pull his hand up. Now, the irony of this story is in the research, they were actually in Africa, and they were in an environment where there were banana trees all around. All around. Like he literally could have let go of that banana, gone up a tree, got a banana and eaten it. There was bananas all around, because where his focus wasn't on the abundance around him. Where his focus was on getting the thing he wanted to keep in his hand. And it's this interesting, I like thinking about it like this. Back in the day, I'm married, been married for 17 years. But I remember dating. Does everybody remember dating? Or you might be still dating, or you might be in the dating scene. I'm not sure. Maybe you've given up on dating. I don't know. But here's the thing. When we go on the first date with a guy, or a guy with a girl, whatever, and you go on a first date and you sit down and you're like, okay, I really like this guy, kind of want a relationship. Will you marry me? Right. Did you see, like on VIP, everybody went like, whoa, simmer down. Why wouldn't we do that? Like, we know what we want. Why wouldn't we just like grab it and like, I'm gonna like, let's go get married? Why? No, you'd freak him out. Like, I don't know you. I don't know what you like. I don't know what you're like when you're mad. I don't know what I don't have any time with you. I don't know if I can trust you. I don't know if you'll handle me well. I don't know any of those things. That's why in dating, there's a first date and a second date and a third date, and all those things. We wouldn't rush into a date and ask somebody to marry us. Now, I want to put it a different way. A lot of the things that we think about money being the root of all evil, money being hard to get, money being the thing that is deceptive, money being elusive. I can't get to it. It's outside of me and I want it and I can't get to it. All of those stories are actually like a polar magnet to actually allow abundance in. It's like that date. If you started insulting that date, right? If you started saying, you seem evil. I'm not sure if I can trust you. Like, you do bad things. And if you started saying to that date, would that date want to go on a second date with you? Tell me in the chat. Yes or no? Like, no, absolutely not. Right. But that's what we're doing all the time when we're over here in the fear story around, I'm not sure, money's evil. I don't know how, I'm not comfortable with it. Right. So how the brain allows belief on anything, but we're talking about money and financial freedom right now, is by believing that it's a tool. And I saw a couple people saying that it's a tool. It's a tool. But if it's a tool, it's something you use and you give away. Like for money, for financial freedom to work, the system of money, now it used to be, in Uganda, the system is not money. They're in the main city, it is, but in the villages where we work, it's still eggs and chickens and goats. So money is a construct. It's no different than a goat, but we're not worried about getting goats, right? We're not worried about eggs and trading eggs for vegetables. But I can tell you there are people today that are. Why? Because that's the construct of the tool that gets exchanged. But money, it's like the monkey holding on to it. Money's got to flow. Financial freedom has to come in and go out and come back in and go out and come back in and go out, meaning that flow always comes. So I want to break down just a little bit of how your brain creates a belief. And I want to ask you to tell me in the chat, what is it that you want to believe about financial freedom? Because this is the belief we need to train your brain to see. What do you want to believe about financial freedom? What do you want to believe about financial freedom? That I can get it, that I can have it, that it's easy to obtain, that it's obtainable, easy to find. So very similar things, right? That I'm worthy of financial freedom. So I know, like, as I'm reading them out loud so that you can, because I think we have more than one. And so I think we borrow sometimes, that I always have it, that it doesn't just come in and go out. It keeps coming back in so that it can continue to flow, right? Money is mine to get. Okay, so to train a belief in your mind, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but your thoughts create your emotions. So we just had a thought. You just put it in there. I'm capable of generating significant income consistently. What emotion do you feel after you think that thought? I can make money without grinding 24/7. What's the thought that you have, or the emotion, that the feeling that you get knowing that that's thought can be created into a belief? The sign relief, elation, right? So it hasn't even happened yet, but the emotion immediately follows. Do you notice that? Oh, I can make money without grinding. That feels like I can close my eyes. That feels amazing. Like it feels the stress is gone, right? All of those things. It's not elusive. Yay, right? So I'm showing you in real time your thoughts create your emotions. But I don't want to just show you in real time and make it a cute little Instagram quote that you move on from. I'm telling you, this is the power to actually create financial freedom before you see it. Because you already, through your intuition, knew what financial freedom was for you. So I really want you to hone in on that one sentence that you wrote down. And if you didn't write that down, I want you to, because the thought of what you want to create financial freedom creates those emotions, which feel amazing. And if you repeat those enough, you show your brain it's safe to believe. You show your brain it's safe to believe. Now we got to take the foot off the brake, right? We can't have the I can make money 24/7 without grinding and money is the root of all evil at the same time. Gas, brake. You see that? That's why we need to take the foot off the brake. There's a process we use called the mind matrix. We'll do it in the 67-day year intensive together to remove those brake pedal beliefs. But this is what we're calling brain priming. It's taking a thought that isn't a belief right now, and it's practicing it so frequently that it becomes safe to your mind. It becomes safe to your mind. And that's what, like, we're going to do those things in the 67-day year. In 67dayyear.com, we're going to take you through the step-down process. Situation's neutral. So our situation being we want financial freedom, that's neutral. But the thought I can make money without grinding, the thought that I can have consistent income, the thought that I'm capable of generating significant income, the thought that it's always available to me, that that's the thought that's going to drive the open doors of financial freedom. So if you have that sentence, what do you want to believe about financial freedom? I want that to be the first belief. For those that join the 67-day year, I want you to create a brain prime off of that. And I'm going to show you how to do that inside the program. For those, I want today for you to post it in the group. I believe that financial freedom, that I'm capable of generating significant income. Whatever it is for you, I want you to post that in the group. Just like your first declaration, this declaration is a declaration of belief. Because we can't expect, like back to the dating scenario, we can't expect financial freedom to come in if our brain does not believe it. Our brain needs to believe it in order for you to see it. So I need to have you take that one statement that I did not tell you, that you knew already intuitively, and I want us to install it as a belief. And as you start to brain prime this one belief, first you're going to declare it, you're going to go into the 67-day year, you're going to really start to build. It's all energy, by the way, guys. Neural pathways, it's all energy. It's repetition, it's reps, just like confidence. Your brain works the same exact way. That's why you don't want to do it alone. Because when you do it alone, no one is sitting there saying, hey, what do you want to believe today? What do you want to believe today? That will be tomorrow, right? What do you want to believe today, right? Because why? The whole world goes on default versus design. So this is a chance for you to get that life by design, specifically with financial freedom. So I want to pause for a second and say yes in the chat if you have your financial freedom declaration. Say yes in the chat if you have your financial freedom declaration. Because I don't want this to be information. I want this to be something that really changes your life. So for David says, I'm powerful beyond measure. So he's going to write, he's going to go live or write, and he's going to say, my financial freedom means I am powerful beyond measure, right? Powerful stuff. Thea's going to say, my financial freedom means that I can make money without grinding 24/7. So everybody has theirs. I'm seeing lots of yeses. This is the first step, the baby step, the pinky toe in the water of training your brain to believe financial freedom can be allowed. Because if your brain doesn't believe it, you're not going to see it. I want you to get this to go so fast for you that in 21 days, that compound interest happens. And there's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system that is like a filter. If you're a cook, it's like a chinois, very small filter. And it only allows into your thinking mind what aligns with not what you want, but what you believe, what's in automation, what's in the subconscious, what your brain has allowed. So in 21 days, as we're repeating this financial freedom declaration, as we're repeating it, and for those of you in 67-day year, when we actually create a primer on it, and you're listening to it, and you're seeing it in 3D, the reticular activating system aligns with your subconscious, and your subconscious is like, I think she believes this, because it's repetitions, just reps. Like Kobe said, it's just reps. And now you're this beautiful filter that was filtering out that financial freedom because you did not believe it. Now it disappears. Now it allows in the abundance. It allows you to see opportunities. What I'll see with clients that prime the financial freedom prime is that all of a sudden success feels inevitable. Opportunities come. Like all of a sudden these things start coming in. And my favorite thing to hear is, out of nowhere, this happened. No, out of nowhere, your brain actually aligned with belief. It starts to see it and it allows it to come in. So right now, the gates to the mansion are closed. Yeah, Barbara said it happens like magic. It's brain science, but it feels like magic. So right now, the gates are closed, and that's that reticular active, that guard standing at the door of your financial freedom. And we've got to get your brain to believe it so it opens. So it opens. And that really is creating that life by design versus default. Whether it's starting the business, getting healthy, scaling the business, deepening relationship, creating a life by design versus by default really is these two key steps that I want you to write down as we're wrapping up. Because I'm going long today, I know, but I had so much I wanted to share with you today that were powerful tools. So there's these two key things that allows you to design your life versus living by default, to start the business, to go all in, to finally do the thing that you've been thinking about for so long. First, and we've been doing a lot of this together this week, first you got to define it. Step one is define it. What do I want to believe about money? What do I want to believe about financial freedom? What do I want to believe about health? What do I want to believe about relationships? What do I want to believe about business? It's your choice. That's why I'll never do a cookie cutter coaching program ever, because your mind is not my mind. How many times have you been coached by somebody else telling you, do what I did? That does not work. You have different brains. Or not just because that leaves you even worse, because then it doesn't work and then you feel worse about yourself, right? Or they'll tell you, well, just believe it. Well, how's that working for you? Have you sat down and just tried to believe it? Like, that doesn't work so well, does it? Why? Because you're not actually learning how to train your brain to believe it. So step one is define it. And step two is design it. This is the life that I want. This is the business that I want. Here's the thing. I talked about it on day one. I don't want you designing my life by design. I have a life that I have created by design. I want you to create your life by design. I can tell you a story about we were in multiple seven figures, and I was in a place I'd never been before, doing the things that other people were telling me to do. And I for whatever reason, for this one area of my business, I just did what people told me to do instead of trusting my intuition. And I ended up with this humongous team, because that's what you do when you get to that place. And I sat down one day and I went, this is not what I want. Now, again, everybody around me is going, you've got an incredible business. I'm like, yeah, but like, like most of it's going back out to this incredible team that I miss my people. I want to be coaching. Like, I want to be doing the things. So here's the thing. You got to define it, but you actually have to design it. What do I want? Okay, I want to start a business. Okay, great. Well, why? We're going to go so deep on this in the intensive for the 67-day year. So go to 67dayyear.com, because you really want to know what the fuel is behind what you want to do, or you'll run out of gas, right? You'll run out of gas. And we've been there before, right? We start something and we don't stop it. We run out of gas. It's because we haven't trained our brain to go all in and stay committed, right? And we can do that. So what is it that you want? Do you want to be able to have weekends off? Do you want to be able to work, go on vacation whenever you want? Do you want location freedom? Go wherever you want and work from wherever you want. Do you want to be able to be at all your kids' recitals? You get to design this. See, the old education system was training you to be a good put out the widgets kind of person. That's not what you're doing now in this new economy. So if you don't design it, somebody else will. And you'll create the business and even be successful in the business and not be happy. So to create this life by design, you got to define it and you got to design it. You got to choose those things. And as we're wrapping up today, you're going to post your financial freedom statement. I cannot wait to see those, because we're going to start to train your brain to allow that financial freedom. If you want extra credit and you want to go all in and you're like, I am so all in, I'm doing this, I would love to hear what your design, not default, is. What kind of business do you want? What kind of health do you want? What kind of business work life do you want? Do you want to be working 10-hour days or 2-hour days? Do you want to be doing it from a yacht or from New York City? Do you want to be doing it on the beach? Or do you like what do you want? Because otherwise you're doing it by somebody else's design instead of your own. That is the most powerful tool when you start to train your brain to allow financial freedom in by your design, not by default, right? So money is a tool. It can be used for good, can be used for evil. You get to decide what financial freedom is for you. Greatness and confidence is a skill. It's a skill. comes from competence, it comes from reps, right? Commitment and completion creates that speed that we're talking about. And really, it's in that go all in identity, choosing faith over fear, that allows you to create a speeded up economy for yourself, for your financial freedom, and for the legacy you're trying to leave behind. And that's what we're going to do inside the program. So make sure you grab a seat in 67dayyear.com. Now, tomorrow, super powerful training. So we're going to do something a little bit different. So we've been talking this week so far about one goal, 67 days, done, right? Which is what we're going to do in the program. We've been talking about training your brain to allow success. Again, what we're going to do in the program. One key piece we haven't talked about yet, and that's habits. In the chat, tell me yes if there are habits that you would like to create that you haven't yet. Say yes, I'll raise my hands, both of them. So just like the old system of setting goals plus hard work equals success, that is broken, and learning this new method, the 67-day-year method, is what is working in the new economy. The same thing goes with habits. We have created habit systems based not on how the brain creates habits. That's why it's been hard. Because if you actually aligned it with how your brain creates a habit, it becomes easy and simple. Right? So I need to break down why that old system of habits is broken and teach you the micro habit system to speed up results. So yes, it takes 67 days to build a network. And yes, it takes 21 days to get to neutral in a network, but you can install micro habits and in 24 hours have it done. It's because you just haven't learned this particular thing. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. And we're going to also bring everybody in on a Zoom room together. We're going to do live coaching together. So tomorrow, make sure you check the link. We will still stream it into the group, but I'm going to have you all come into the Zoom room so we can do some live coaching based on what we've learned over the last 3 days, as well as what you will learn tomorrow, which is how to develop micro habits to install a new habit within 24 hours. That's going to be a powerful thing. So do not miss it. I will see you in the group. I cannot wait to read your financial freedom statements and your life by design, if that is what you want to do. I'd love it when you go live. And of course, we're going to pick more winners and celebrate with each other tomorrow. You have the whole weekend to rewatch or start to catch up and watch day 1 through day 4, which will be really incredible. And of course, like I said, we are opening the doors to 67-day year. You can just go to 67dayyear.com and I will see you in there, where we will take one goal, 67 days, and crush it and train your brain to allow success in the meanwhile. All right. I love you guys. I will see you again tomorrow, same time, 12 noon. Make sure you check your email for the links so you can be live, and I will see you then. Bye.